If you say you would love to see, a measure akin to Oronsai's recommendation and reduction in some of these, you know, civil service workforce, how do you marry that with call for more jobs, knowing that so many Nigerians at the moment have no jobs? And if we decide to do all of that and follow through with your submission, it would seem as if we will have more jobless people at the end of the day.
Okay, well, you see, what we are doing is a department that maybe the law pegs contract award so and so millions of naira or thousands of naira can only be awarded in-house. Other one will go to a higher level. So you now go and split it. So what happens is that you split the system because you just don't have a clue yourself. The only thing is create another problem, solve another problem. Now let me go back to the archives. You see, before independence, there was only one commissioner of police who is in charge of Nigerian police in Nigeria. Of course, expatriates in those days. All the other people you have in the three regions before they became four later in 1963 were deputy commissioners. But the police was also in charge of immigration at that time. So you write to the foreigners, write to police department to get visa to come to Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Police were taking care of everything. Police can investigate anything. Now, somewhere along the line, NSO came out of the same police. That institution of police, which is doing what NSO is doing, NSO is now called SSX. Road safety came out of it. Civil defense corps is police work. Okay? So many other things. All you decapitate the police, you set up institution instead of strengthening it. You are asking my brother the other time when he set up, he said they set up 18 universities. What happened to existing universities that are not being taken care of? So it's the same principle they are using. I don't know how it came about, but I tell you, it's intellectual laziness. If you know what you are looking for, you strengthen that department to do its job. Not you split it so you can go and multiply problems everywhere. In the name of, I don't think those who are doing it are not thinking of giving people jobs. They are just thinking of creating employment for their clients, and so on and so forth. But you don't need civil service alone. All other countries in the world that are civilized, is not civil service job that gives jobs. It's private sector. Make conducive atmosphere available. People will invest on their own. They don't need you to help them. In other societies, that is what it is. You can imagine the 1.4 billion Chinese, if all of them will rely on People's Republic of China government to give them jobs, what will happen to them?
Okay, now you've also talked about, again, you say that discipline is the way to go. But some people will say that we're going to have certain debates. First of all, the debate on subsidy was seen is already ongoing. Some people are already beginning to talk about it. Do you think that we can retain it and say that we're going to keep it only and simply because we promised to be disciplined?
Well, petroleum subsidy comes as a result of willful and intentional decapitation of our refineries. There is no self-respecting country like that is oil producing like Nigeria that cannot have a single refinery working. There are countries, even in our own sub-region, they don't have petroleum, but they have refinery. And they rely on stolen crude from Nigeria to refine. And you create a situation, you kill the refineries, you kill the pipelines that take petroleum from the refinery to the depots. You invite every tanker in Nigeria to come to Lagos and take fuel from what you call imported fuel. That imported fuel, I saw the debate in the National Assembly when they were investigating subsidy. Now, this importation is not really that the petroleum product is coming from Venezuela or from the United States or from Norway, no, or Saudi Arabia, no. They take small ships from Tinkan to Cotonou, 60 nautical miles, and that's what qualifies them as subsidy. And why? Why do you have to do that? So if you can, I don't know why it is so difficult to set up a refinery in Nigeria. And I tell you, that's what you call the discipline thing. Because they've been talking about it. They say they gave license for so and so refineries. What happened to them? What happened to our own refineries that every now and then they are consuming our own money in the name of turnaround maintenance, which is not really maintaining anything. So these are the issues. If you can solve those problems, you don't need to import any fuel. If you don't import fuel, you are not going to be open to subsidy blackmail.
Well, what's going to happen in the meantime?
Well, in the meantime, it looks like they have to continue until they will give them some deadline, I'm sure, by which they cannot continue doing it. I have this idea. Look at this crazy thing we do to ourselves. We are complaining of bad roads. How can you have a bad roads? When I come to your studio, I saw a procession of 5 giant trucks carrying heavy duty, cargo, whatever it is. Each one of those trucks had 24 tires. And you can imagine rolling those tires on a small road like what we have, Lagos to Ibadan, Lagos to the rest of Nigeria. And you are doing that continuously, every minute you are doing that. Why? You are carrying bombs. A 33,000 liter petroleum tanker is a bomb. Even on it, they write highly flammable. So all that it needs one small ignition of something, and you have a problem. And it is happening, but because we don't care, we create this problem for ourselves. So we cannot have good roads. We should stop complaining about bad roads. You can, even if the Roman Empire comes and build our roads, if that's how we are going to behave, we are not going to have good roads.
Are you optimistic that these can be sorted out?
Well, I'm sure it was, once there's a responsible leadership, things will change.
Very quickly before you leave, what's your reading of the recent development yesterday, 2 resignations from the People's Democratic Party, Adamu Mwazu and Chief Tony Aneni?
Well, it was, I think, long overdue. It's not because, well, first of all, I don't belong to any political party. But as an independent observer from what has been going on, PDP is a victim of its own success. And PDP never learned any lesson. Because if PDP was learning any lesson, they would have learned from Congress Party of India. They could have learned from PRI in Mexico. They could even have learned from the Soviet Communist Party in Russia, or in old USSR. Where are those parties today? Because they are so over-bloated with their ego. They think it is going to be a foregone conclusion. Wherever they set their direction, that thing, they go there. They don't care. They don't listen to any advice. They don't do anything. And before you say anything, people now think that the only way to join the train and live happily ever after is to be in PDP. So that's why there is no coherent policy. No matter, it doesn't matter who says whatever. There is not an ideological party, but ideology also is debatable, because if you choose to be a thief, that's your ideology. If you choose to be a madman, even though you are sane, but you want to be a madman now, so that's your new ideology of life. So you have this idea of ganging up to corner our national resources, dish it out. That's why immediately they lost power, people are decamping. Why? Because some of them, since I know myself as a kid, there are some people who have been in government. They are either chairman of something, or they are board member of something, or they are governing council member of a university, or they are pro-chancellor of something, or they are ambassador, or they are whatever. And then, by extension, they also recommend their hangers-on to be appointed. So this idea, this maybe is just by sheer coincidence. Umbrella came to be, so they all gang up under one umbrella. And they cannot just manage themselves. And I had all sorts of reasons why they lost election. Well, they lost election They are overconfident, of course, and the system has changed thanks to card readers and private permanent voters card. I think those are the things. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If you can have credible election, then you must have permanent voters card. You must have that card reader. I think that's what really puts them off.
Mahmud, Othman, thank you for coming on the program today.
You are welcome.
Sunrise Daily takes a moment. We'll return shortly. Join us again.